Hello and welcome to another To Be Frank podcast. Thank you for watching. Today's special guest is my buddy Ryan McNamara.
Thank you for not messing that up.
Yeah, he hates it when I mess that up.
Much appreciated.
But Ryan and I used to work together, and we are definitely going to get into that today. But thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, his info is going to be at the bottom, so you can follow him, give him a like. But I want to get into our daily top 10 today. Now, I gave Ryan a specific topic to cover, and he calls me a couple days later and says, man, no. So he changed it up, and we decided to go with, what did we go with?
Comic book characters.
That's right, comic book characters. Top 10 comic book characters.
Yes.
So I'm going to let my guest go first, so you can judge him for his choices, as will I. But go ahead and hit it. You can go 10 to 1 or 1 to 10, however you want.
So you may list all of them in just my whole list first, and then you go.
If they're not in order, you are welcome to do it how you want. But if you want them to be in a categorized order, as far as like what's your favorite or whatnot, you can.
Oh, okay. Well, no, mine. All of them are just. I like all of them. There's no like rhyme or reason for
mine is in order. But.
Oh, okay. Well, this is your podcast. Not
it
mine.
is. It is my podcast.
I'm just here. I'm the pretty face to fill time in.
Well, that's something to edit out, I guess.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So my first, I will say this guy on this list is probably my favorite, and it's Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Oh, that's a good choice.
My teleportation's kind of like a thing for good, bad, and different. I'm like, that's cool to do. Next on the list is Deadpool, because who doesn't love, the merc with the mouth?
Nice.
Then Magneto, because metal's cool.
Great opinion.
Yeah,
metal is
that goes
cool.
into my music choice too. I listen to a lot of metal. So.
Metal is cool.
After that, we got Thor, because he's the blonde Asgardian with a hammer.
So you're in the blonde, man. Okay.
No. I'm saying there's a resemblance there.
Sure, there's a huge resemblance.
Yeah, man.
To Thor.
Oh no, I'm in like Shazam costume right now. I'm out of it.
Perfect.
Then I got Aquaman. So we're switching to DC. Aquaman, Flash, and Superman. And then I really like Static Shock because I used to watch that as a kid and the comics then, and that was just controlling like electromagnetic like fields and stuff, working with electronics and stuff like that was always cool to me. And then obviously Groot, because
I am Groot.
Exactly. Thank you. I was like, is he going to do it? We're going to see. And then the one that,
hire me, Marvel, for Vin Diesel's backup, just in case.
It'll be good. At least I don't have to show your face, so I'll do good. And then my last, and it's only because I agree to more of an extent than most people do, I would imagine, is Thanos.
Okay.
Because I'm a firm believer in,
security.
Resources are finite and eventually do go away.
That's very true.
Control the populace. I don't think murdering everyone is a good idea.
Good save.
But I'm going to go with that.
Going down a dirt road that was leading to a bad place.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it, but I'm sure there's other ways to, China did that forever with the one-child policy.
Okay, so you're also communist. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great podcast.
so far, right? I asked you if you sure you wanted me here. I asked you this twice.
This is true. But no, that's a good list. It's pretty well thought out. It fits you. It makes sense.
Does it?
It does make sense.
Are you sure?
It does, yeah. So let me get into mine real quick. Now, mine is a little bit different. There's a couple cliche things on here, but there's some that you probably would not expect. So I'm going to work from 10 up to 1. Number 10, Silver Surfer.
Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I loved him in the movie, but I also loved him in the comic books.
He almost made my list, but I was like, a lot of people don't know. Like, they aren't, like, he's a comic book character, but everyone's like, oh, in the movie, he didn't really do a whole lot. I was like, well, read the comic book.
Right, yeah. They did him okay. They didn't do him dirty, but they did him okay.
It could have been better.
Yeah, number 9, Thor.
It's a good choice.
I almost didn't put him on my list, but I do like him. I do like the character. I love more of the mythology of Thor, the Greek mythology version. It's completely different.
You just say Greek mythology?
Yeah, you did say Greek mythology, so it's not Greek mythology.
What is it?
It's Norse mythology.
Oh, well, darn it. Well, we're going to have to edit that out.
Nope.
So, well, I'm also dumb, so thank you. But number 8, Mr. Fantastic. I am lazy at times, and I'd be like, I want a Coke. That's what
I really don't like that sound you just made.
Yeah. Number 7, Wanda Maximoff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Marvel movie, she really could have been so much worse.
Oh, I mean, she gave Thanos a run for his money for a second there, and he was like, what the heck?
She could have destroyed everything from the beginning, but, for some reason, they wanted to make money on the movie, so they kept it going. Number 6, Cyclops. Switching it up, X-Men. Because he could take out anybody if he wanted to.
Yeah, I didn't like Cyclops at all.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't like how they did him in the movies.
I don't like him in the comic books either. I'm just
Really?
like, it seems like
he's pretentious, but
he's a little pretty boy.
Yeah, but his powers is more of what I was going for. Number 5, Spider-Man.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, I love playing in the old school games,
Like PlayStation games.
PlayStation games.
Like
Yeah.
PlayStation 1 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I'm an
Yes.
Xbox guy. I want to make that plain and simple.
Well, that's
out
what's
there.
wrong with you.
Okay, moving on. Number 4, Deadpool. Had to throw it on there.
Yes. Yes.
Love Deadpool.
Yes. Who doesn't?
3, Wolverine.
That makes sense. You did name
Yep.
one of your children.
I did name my child Logan. Number 2, Hulk.
Okay.
Hulk was number 1 on my list for the majority of my life. Strong. I mean, I was always the bigger, stronger guy at school.
Stronger?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All the guys at school look like you. So,
Ryan, you read my mind.
yeah. Number 1, Batman.
Oh, see, now we can't be friends anymore.
I know,
I'm
you're a
contemplating walking out of this.
You're a Superman
now.
guy, and I knew it as soon as I heard it. I'm like, dang it, he's a Superman guy.
Yeah, and
But-
I didn't put him at number 1 because I was like, that's everyone. Well, it's Superman, and you
but
picked that guy.
all we need to know is that Batman kills Superman in the end. So
All we need to know is Batman is a full-grown man that runs around in a rubber suit with a little boy.
I see no problem.
And there you have it. All of the explanation we'll need for anything else you say. That's why you
Thank
like Xbox, right?
Oh gosh, here we go. Thank you for the daily top 10. I appreciate it.
So I have a quick thing real fast, though,
yes,
Frank.
I didn't even get to introduce Josh. I totally forgot. Everybody say hello to my producer, Josh.
Thank you for that, for completely forgetting about me, as
Well,
usual.
I didn't really forget, but you just kept chiming in, and it reminded me.
Such a good friend, Frank. Such a good friend.
Yeah.
But Josh is behind the camera, in case you're wondering.
Exactly.
Yes.
Actually, I'm invisible. I'm wearing my green screen suit.
I was saying,
so-
this is the voice of the Lord now.
Hello. As if it was a list of like superheroes, then I'd be like, get Batman out of there.
Right. That would have been my choice as well.
But he would only barely crack my top 100, maybe.
And heroes or characters?
Just characters, period.
Really?
I don't know. I just don't care for Batman.
Because he has sense and he's not a pedo.
Okay, neither am I,
Wow.
but still, what I like about Batman is he adapts.
Well, what's your favorite Batman, though?
That's tough. Definitely George Clooney. No, I'm just
The
kidding.
nipples. I knew it. I knew it.
No, it's definitely Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is the Batman.
I saw something where he might be playing Batman again in something.
He's supposed to be old man Bruce.
I don't want to get
It's
my hopes
It's
up.
the possibility for it.
I actually didn't mind Affleck.
Batfleck. Yeah.
Yeah, Batfleck. I didn't mind him, but
Yeah.
but definitely Keaton's my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough.
By far. Okay, again, thank you for the daily top 10. Thank you for listening. I would like to do our fact of the day real quick. I know everybody gets a kick out of that. Josh actually found this one, so credit to Josh. He's been begging me to use it.
Thank you.
Did you know that the world's longest wedding veil
I'm glad you said that.
was 63 and a half football fields in length?
I could have gone my whole life without knowing that. That is
most of my
a
facts
wow fact.
you didn't need to know, but
That's intense. That is that's a bit extra.
but now you know, and that's what's important.
So any woman out there who wants to break a record, go for 63.1, I guess.
well, 63 and a half is the world record. So 63.6. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm also
Or
deaf.
63 and a half and a half.
Which you still have to think that's an extra 10 yards, which is longer than most veils. So
Right. It's very
10
true.
yards is long for a veil,
Exactly.
in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's the fact of the day. So now, the real reason that Ryan is here. Ryan and I work together at a company called EagleView Windows. And those of you that know me closely know what an awesome experience that was.
My friends know just how wonderful this company was too.
Right. So I was with the company for almost 6 years, about 5.5 years.
I was there. I think I was there for like two in a month.
I got there about 6 months after they started.
Okay. So you were like one of the people that were there at its conception.
Right. I was the 7th full-time employee.
Was it better
hired
then?
on. It was smaller. We were on the west side of Jacksonville in a very cramped place. I enjoyed it somewhat.
Okay.
It was different. It was harder. I remember one of the people in management at the time who had been there from the beginning. We're going to try not to name names today, by the way. We're going to try. It's going to be hard for him, but we're going to try. She...
Okay.
Right. Okay. She told me my first day, they were working on a bigger project, the biggest project that they had at the time, which was like 200 something windows. Which, in the grand scheme of things, by the end of it, was not big. Mm-hmm. But it was their biggest project. They were working night after night. There was only 6 of them. So they were working ridiculous hours. So I come in because I needed help. And my first day, she's like, you got to stay late. And I was like, I can't stay late today. I wasn't prepared for that. I can stay late tomorrow, that kind of thing.
Right.
She looked at me in the eyes and said, if you're not willing to work here, take your butt back to Target. I worked at Target at the time. I should have prefaced that.
Yeah, backstory was needed for that.
Right, yeah, a little bit.
It was like, we found you at the Target parking lot.
No.
Better than Home Depot, I guess.
A buddy of mine, we actually did a tandem interview, like stepbrothers, and with the owner at the time. And they hired him on the spot because his brother also worked there. And
Okay.
I had to wait like a week and a half, 2 weeks to get in. But anyways, she told me to go back if I wasn't willing to work. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to stay tonight as long as I have to. And I worked until 9 o'clock.
Like, do I need to sleep here?
Right.
I know who you're talking about. Like, she can be scary,
Right.
for sure.
But we got really close, me and her. So, because I respected her at that point.
Yeah, because
I had to.
she'll tan your hide all the way up and down the parking
Right,
lot.
yes.
And she's like, guess what? You're still staying.
Shout out to her if she's watching this. She knows who she is.
And she's like, oh yeah, they're talking about me.
Right,
She
share
cracks her knuckles.
She did share our first video, so hopefully she'll
Okay.
continue to share.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah, you're right. Now, like I said, I was there from the beginning, kind of helped build it up and whatnot. And Ryan came in, like you said, you were there for about 2.5 years, right?
Yeah, just 2 and like a little bit of change. Now I wouldn't go half. It wasn't 2.5.
Right, because you worked there only in River City, right?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. So we were on the west side, and then about 3 years in, we moved. We got a bigger owner, more money, and moved to the River City area. Got a 84,000 square foot warehouse, renting, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he bid on more than he could chew. And
Well, his
we'll
industry he was in before that was very different.
Yeah, it was. And that owner's name was Bill Myers. That is the only name I'm going to throw out. And we'll get into that for sure. Why in a minute. But yeah, so I can go on and on and on about my experience. I want Ryan to get into his experience a little bit from when he started and see how this kind of goes. But I wanted to have this conversation because a lot of people that are close to me know that, what I went through there at the company.
Well, you definitely had more of a raw deal than I did, as far as like your investment in the company and how long you'd been there, and then the way they did you at the end of it.
Very true. I was literally the last employee, not in ownership in the building.
Right. I think I was out either a week or 2 weeks before you.
Yeah. And they brought a couple of us back in to finish up a few things like that last week after they'd already closed the doors. The company went under.
Yeah,
because forgot to preface that, but yeah, the company went bankrupt and shut down because of Bill Myers, and other people too. I don't want to put it all on Bill, but it's mostly on Bill.
Well, yeah, the deposition is that it resides with him just because of how things went down
and how he handled it and all that stuff,
and who he hired to be in certain places as well. So
very true. So, but yeah, we'll get into that. But anyways, go ahead and talk about your experience from the beginning, and then we'll kind of work our way.
How much time do we have?
A little bit.
A little.
We
bit.
got 15 minutes for this one. So.
All right, so it'll be a really condensed version.
Yeah, just kind of like give me chronologically, like, when you walked in, what you thought was going to happen. And
I gotcha. So,
your role.
well, our friend Jason is the one who got me the job there.
Right, shout out to Jason.
Yeah, Jason. He got me the job. I had just quit my previous job because I've butting heads with my employer at the time, and I needed something. I'd been out of work for, I think, 2 months, 2 or 3 months, something like that. And we're hanging out at a place, and we're talking and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm looking for work and stuff. He's like, I can get you a job. I can get you an interview tomorrow. And I was like, really? And I thought he was, blowing smoke.
It was that kind of a place, though. I mean,
I found out the next day when he's like, you ready for your interview? And I was like, I'm feeling
that was one of the benefits is that if you knew somebody, you could get in there really quick.
Well, I was thinking it was a differently run company at the time. So he called me and I was like, dude, I can't make it today. And he's like, well, it's either now or never. So I, sucked it up and got out there. This is back when I lived over in the Arlington area, and walked around, and it looked like it was definitely a manufacturing warehouse. It was not a plant, even though one of our buddies liked to say it was a plant. It wasn't a plant. It was way too small, and it was poorly ran. But getting in there was fairly easy, and I thought it was going to be like, yeah, we'll let you know in a week. And he's like, go to Dunn Avenue Care Spot and take this drug test. And I was like, all right, cool. So when I started the next day, through that, I got to know, Jason. Obviously, I already knew him, and I was struggling for money and stuff. I got to know some other people. You were one of them, and yeah. And in the beginning, I did not like you at all.
I get that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I think I had valid reasons, but also I didn't know you very well. The couple conversation I had, it was like, this guy's a little too smart for his own good kind of thing. And he was just,
hey, I get that a lot too, Josh.
Yeah, well, I can't say the other word behind it. That's why I'm saying it like that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's good. So yeah, I want to hear these reasons because he's been talking to me about how he had reasons why he didn't like me, and I've never known. So I want to hear it on the air for everyone in the world to hear.
So everyone's going to know why, and they're going to be like, you know what? I agree with that young man with the Anaheim Ducks hat on.
Possibly so.
It's possibly so, very, very much. I'm also a loving person, and everybody comes to love me and be my friend at some point because they judge the book by its cover, and
the conversations they have with you and other
okay,
things.
We'll get into that. Go ahead.
My biggest thing with you was just the fact that you had a henchman, is what I would acquaint this person to, that just walked around behind you with a clipboard. You said things to him, he wrote on the clipboard, and it looked like he barked at the assembly line at the end of it. And I never saw you do anything unless it was big bosses walking by and it's like, oh, okay, well, and then all of a sudden you got really good at your job for like 5 minutes and then you walked off and then disappeared, grabbed clipboard, bill, and just went about your business. So I thought you didn't work, and I was like, why is that guy running that position? That doesn't make sense to me. And then I got to know you through Jason, and we talked about a bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, and rhyme and reason for everything. And I was also like, okay.
I would like for you to also preface that I did do things, but you're not going to. So
I'm just speaking from what I saw.
Right. No, it's true. I got accused of that quite a bit there, especially since I had been there from the beginning.
You were very good at delegating work.
Well, that's what management is. I mean, to be honest with you. But the thing is that now you also know that I could do every part of the job from start to finish, other than the glass department, which you ended up running.
Yes, at one point.
And we ended up doing doors as well. We were a window manufacturing company and door company. I could help in doors because I was there before we ever did doors. And
Right. You learned the process from the bottom up, yeah.
Right. So I could help with that. I just didn't do it as often. But every part of the window from start to finish, I could help in glass and do different parts of it. I just usually would go over there just to help, and it would be from this point to this point. It'd be 6 months to a year in difference between when I would show up to help. So
right.
I wasn't that accustomed to it.
It's like you had to go over there if you had to. Like, it was like, hey, go help them. We have 2 people in the glass line.
Right.
And, your guy holding the clipboard will call it out the day. So it's like, well, I got to do something today.
Definitely. So there was different points. Before Ryan had came, I was the floor supervisor for the whole company at one point in time. Mm-hmm. And then through politics and bad management ownership at the time, I was removed from that position.
Okay.
This was during the time where I had broken my back and things, and I physically wasn't able to do as much.
Well, that's just shoddy. That speaks for the company that we worked for, right?
Right. I accused them of that. They denied it. I didn't have the money to,
Yeah, you worked there. Of course you didn't have the money.
Right. I didn't have the money to push the envelope. But anyways, I got demoted the week before my surgery, and they took dollars away from me an hour. I just purchased a new vehicle. I was doing all these different things, and anyways, got demoted. And when I came back from my surgery, I was back as just a normal employee on the line, working under a person who at the time did not see eye to eye with me. He will remain nameless as well. But
I think I know who it is.
yeah, and then
I heard stories about this guy.
then we worked. This guy.
Then I definitely know who it is.
We
then.
worked together, and I ended up working my way back up into a team leader role.
Okay.
And
So at least you took over a line versus just being.
well, I didn't take over the assembly line again because I had started from the bottom. No, I'm here. No, I had started from. Yeah, no, terrible white guy. Terrible. I had started just as a normal worker, worked my way up to run the assembly line, worked my way up to team lead, worked my way up, and did all these different things. Like I said, lost it all. Started back at the bottom, worked my way back up. I went back to the shipping department, which I had helped run while I was a supervisor.
Mm-hmm. You ultimately ended up there at the end too.
I ended up a lot of places, but I was there, then moved around, took over the assembly line, worked my way back up into a supervisory role of a section.
Okay.
Worked my way back up into management after that,
Mm-hmm.
and then ended up becoming. I said I was, and I was told I was a director of the service department.
Okay.
And the quality control manager. Other managers in the office didn't like that because they had earned degrees. And
Oh, you were a director. I was the director of the supply closet at one point because somebody thought that was funny. I was like, you can call me whatever you want as long as you give me a pay increase. Like that's what I want.
yeah, no, but I was told that I was the service director.
Okay.
That was my title. Like I said, other managers did not agree with that.
Well, that was funny.
and
Like they
told
would
me I
give
was
us a
just manager.
title to make us feel better, and we
Right.
took it seriously. And we were like, all
Yeah,
right,
we
well, I
worked hard
had
at
this
it.
response, and we made sure we took care of things. And they're just like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. I was like, do you think I could get like some kind of compensation,
Right.
either more hours or more in hour? And they're like, just laugh in your face.
Yeah, I mean, I had gotten more money than I was making ever at towards the end.
Right.
And it was tough to do. My wife can attest, and Josh could probably attest too. I averaged on my phone, not including emails or my work phone, I averaged 105 phone calls a day from 7 a.m. to 7 at night.
Sweet Jesus.
So that's average. So there were some days that were a lot more than that, some that were less, but for a year and a half.
Nice.
Yeah. They didn't pay my phone bill.
Oh, you didn't get a secondary phone like they gave to everyone
I
else?
had a work phone for a little bit when before I got my promotion.
Okay.
I wasn't able to afford to pay for my phone, so it
Okay,
got
so your phone that they gave you was going to be your work phone.
yeah,
Then
they gave it to me, and then when I got my promotion, I was able to afford my phone bill. So yeah. So anyways, I worked my way up and did all these different things at the company, and some of it was good and some of it was fun. I met a lot of great people, met a lot of terrible employees, guys that just didn't want to work.
There was a very diverse group of people that worked there.
Right.
Good, bad, indifferent.
I was smart with the way that I did things. Like some of the people would, I don't want to say accused because
Never heard that one before though.
They
I
don't-
was smart.
No, I was smart in the way that I did things. Like I had a certain allotment of vacation days, and I would space it out to where I would use it like throughout the whole.
Oh yeah,
the-
Bill
the whole-
Myers owes me like a lot of money because I get like 3 weeks of vacation saved up, and I was about to use it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can't use it." I was like, "Well, can you pay me out for it?" Because it was
Yeah, they
accrued
wouldn't do
time.
that.
You accrued the time as you're working there, and they're like, "Yeah, maybe." I looked into some laws, some statutes. They technically owe it to me.
Yeah. Well, we never got our last paychecks, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, the things that I had spaced out. People were always like, "How do you have so many vacation days? Why are you always taking off?" Well, I'm like, "Well, I scheduled it 6 months ago. because I planned things out.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, it was at least a 2-week minimum. They wanted a month, but a minimum of 2 weeks before you were to call a day out. It's like, what if you get sick? It's like, we better plan for it in 2 weeks. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
their HR was a joke.
Yeah, there was no real HR. There was, but it wasn't accurate. But yeah, so I got to see the inner workings of the company, and I was involved in a lot of it, especially the last year. I was in the office,
right,
and I was in management. Mm-hmm. I helped make a lot of the decisions.
Maybe that's why we went under.
Oh my gosh! No, I mean, like I tried to do what was best for the employee in general. There were times where we didn't get paid. Now, yes, there were some owner/managers and some managers that didn't get paid for months and months. Towards the end.
Our engineer, I heard horror stories.
Some of them are in a legal dispute with Bill Myers. So we can't really get into that, but. So yeah, there's legitimate things going on. Like I said, we didn't get our last paycheck or our vacation time or anything. I was literally out of town working for them when I got the call that the bank came and locked the doors.
I was too, actually. I was seeing, it was going to be the last time I was going to see my late grandmother. So that was a good call to get. So
yeah, I
was like, oh, hey, Dad, just so you know, when we fly back, I'm jobless.
Right.
And that was fun. And I was like, no warning, no nothing, because we were being fed all this crap saying like, oh no, if anything's turning back around, we got investors, they're looking at us and stuff, and they're like, oh, by the way, you don't have a job anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I knew that
I got the don't call the number back.
Yeah,
and I was like, what? That is the rudest thing anyone's ever said to me, like to make me leave a job.
My boss at the time, which is, and you can attest, was the greatest boss that we ever had at EagleView.
Right. I never got to work directly under him. But I made
directly for him. Yeah.
He was a great guy.
He's one of the kindest guys I know. He still talks to me quite often just to see how I'm doing. He helped me out when we lost.
What did I start calling him? The Wizard?
The Wizard, yeah. Whenever we lost our job, he, out of his own pocket, gave me money so that I could afford to not lose my house and my car. Because
that's good karma, man. That's good pay it forward type stuff.
We didn't get our last paycheck.
Right.
At the time, my wife was not working. She was staying home with our kids. Luckily, 3 weeks after I lost my job, she started working at the school. Mm-hmm. So it worked out, sort of. But still, it was tough. And as you guys know, I was out of work for 7 months. And that was tough. But yeah, EagleView there was good times and there was really, really bad times. There was a lot of ups and downs, and I got to see a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And we both experienced quite a bit. And you worked your way into what was considered a supervisory type role. They just didn't call it that, and
they refused,
give you the money.
They refused to give me the title of it, and I that's all I wanted. More like the pay was like I got bills I need to pay, but that thing was like you have me running this whole department from back to forward, and you also have me running a secondary department, but you're telling them they don't answer to me, but they're asking me what they need to do. So I took over. Because Jason ran the glass line first,
right,
and then Jason got moved up. They wanted to move him to more of a general floor manager, so he was going to be running the two other departments and not mine anymore. And he was going to have they would be split between him and another individual, the whole warehouse,
right.
And then so I took over glass as its entirety, which means I make the doors, I make the windows. We got it cut, like my glass cutter at the time, like. I had him coming in early and leaving late, and he had a lot of the same kind of problems you did with your back, the sciatic nerve thing. So I was like, well, okay, so that means I am the manager of this, or team lead, or whatever the heck you want to call it. Like I was in charge of this position.
Right.
They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see the payroll thing. And there was no lead for glass for the entire time. And I was like, all right, cool. And then they finally gave it to me. They told me, they're like, oh, we're going to bump you up an extra. Like it was like $3 an hour. Gary at one point gave me some exuberant number. And I'm like, that's not going to work. Like I'm not dumb. You're not going to pay me that much money.
Right.
And plus this company, I can tell it's going under whether anyone wants to tell me or not.
Yeah. We hung on till the end. And I always said like, I'm going to ride the ship until it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually, he gave us that advice. Like I'd get out now. And I was like, no, I mean, I'm always a glass half full kind of guy, very optimistic, and he was right. We should have left a lot earlier. We could have got at least a last paycheck. We could have got our
that's very true. I mean, I had
vacation time out of it and stuff too.
I had a couple other job offers in the last year or so, off and on, that I didn't take. Some of them were like actual serious ones. Some were just like, hey, you should come work for us. Those kinds of things. And I didn't want to because I felt like I was where I was supposed to be.
Right. Well, it's hard. scary to change.
Well, that too. That's definitely a part of it. And I had to be honest with myself and honest with my family. And, I obviously talked about it with my wife and, tried to plan it out the correct way. But it was a difficult decision to hang on and go with it. Hey, thank you so much for checking out part 1 of a 2-part series with my buddy Ryan here. We really appreciate you for coming on, man. And thank you for watching. Before we end it, I wanted to give him an opportunity to plug a new company of his that he has been starting. So take it away.
Yeah, so me and my co-founder have been working on this since we were about 17 years old. It's called Good Living. All it is the pursuit of fun. What we want to do is collect local artists, local businesses and stuff like that, do events for the community and things like that. We are planning on starting like merchandising and doing a clothing line first. Nice. So we'd love to be a sponsor for you guys at one point or another. You can follow me and my co-founder on our Instagram accounts, which we'll have down here.
Appreciate it, man. Peace.